What is up, my guys? YouTube. I know I'm back with a new video. Well, I know it's been a while. I haven't posted in possibly over a year. I think the last video I did with my cousin, we were talking about the guy who killed the insurance guy, and it was a wild video. It was a long time. But for those who may have been asking why I've been gone for a while, that's to say I had a very hectic, long year. Uh, just a lot going on in general. But I'm back here with a new video, and I want to talk about something interesting today. Today's video actually, it's going to be a little personal, a little bit more. I was actually advised to talk about this with my therapist. Just a little clarity, I started seeking therapy. I had a lot going on this past year, a lot of like heartbreak, I can say, and just a lot of just ups and downs with my health in general. So, with talking to my therapist, he knows that I do YouTube on occasion, but I kind of fell off it for a while, which is no one's fault in general, just me, just life in general. And so he said that it would be a good idea if I just did a video talking about, I guess what I've been through a little bit with this past years or years in general, with dealing with relationships, dealing with my health. So I decided, all right, let me do a video. I did originally do another video about this, about how I've been rejected before. It happens to everyone. But getting rejected doesn't mean that you're still not yourself and you're still not a human being. It just means I just weren't the right person for you. So today I'm just gonna talk about I'm not gonna say relationships, but situationships or just things in general that I've noticed in myself that that I would never wish on anyone else. I would say, and just learning lessons of how I operate today and that I am today. I don't want to say anything negative about these people that have been in and out of my life, or just women in general I've dated or not dated. So there's nothing to them that I would say that I hate or anything. I would say in a sense of it's just stuff that I want to make sure that these stories that I'm sharing of my experience is about me and my experience. It has nothing to necessarily do with them, but my experience with them has shaped me to the man that I am today and how I view certain things in the world. Uh, so how do I want to start? I have been debating if I ever want to talk about this publicly. Not a lot of people know about this situation, but I have been dating for a while, and I had a lot going on around the year 2020. This person I was going to talk about in my original video when I made a while ago about being rejected, but I was still really hurt about that, and this person I really did care about. So I'm going to keep them private and everything, but I'm just sharing my experience with them and how it's affected me on the man I am today. So I'm going to be really quick about it. I'm not going to get into too much details about it, but this was someone I met off Tinder. I'm going to say the year was 2020. It is just around the time when COVID had just hit. Everyone was staying indoors. And, she was cool and everything. We had hit it off really well. We were talking on Tinder. She was great, Hispanic lady. And with being with her, I was really happy. Before I got with her, my health was around the time I started getting sick, but then my health got really better and I was living on my own. I had my own place. I had roommates at the time, but, my place was fine for me and her. Just to keep a long story short, with her, she was someone that was very eccentric in a sense of openness. I'm pretty much a monogamous person. I don't know if people know what that means. Pretty much someone who likes to be with someone that is one person at a time, not trying to date multiple people. This person was really open about her sexuality and what she's into and not into, and she was into a lot, and I really liked her a lot. Not to share too much up here, but this person was into, if I'm saying it correctly, BDSM, banishing bonds and stuff. Like when it comes to sex, like extreme sexual stuff, and that I'm not really used to, and I'm not really into. But this person, I would say that I think looking back on it now, when I think about her or my time with her, I think she was a bit of a sex addict. It is nothing to her own with my relationship with her. I just think that with her, how she viewed things and how she saw things for herself, I just think that I don't think that I had a real connection with her. I just think that she was really into sex and she enjoyed it a lot with me for the time when I was with her. I just have to say that we had a lot of issues due to the fact that she was polyamorous and I was very uncomfortable with it. In a sense, when I was with her, she was trying to convince me to get into it. Let's just say I tried it once and I realized it just wasn't for me due to the fact that I liked her and I cared for her a lot, and I didn't feel comfortable sharing her with multiple other men or women. She was bisexual. So like we had a lot of issues. Me being with her, not being with her. We were on and off for about a year until like me and her had mutual understanding to like cut things off because my core values and what it means to be in a relationship, I was gentrifying that to be with someone who couldn't separate what made them happy for me or what they wanted from me. So I still just wasn't gonna work. And then we were on and off for a while. I saw her a couple times. So the issue happens when like you're dealing with someone, and then when you break up with them, the issue comes when you're still sleeping with them. I mean, feelings always get involved with this and the third. When we ended, we were still messing around on occasions, and then she found out I was messing around with other people. She got jealous a couple times. I knew she was doing her. Like I had chosen to let that go and not let her be my person. But to each their own. I just think that situation is a very toxic situation I was in. Not saying that she was a bad person. I just think that um, her sex addiction was very high when I look back on it. And I know that she's also a person that suffers from mental health issues. She has schizophrenia. And I just knew that for the time when I was with her, I was like in bliss in a sense of me being in a happy place with her. But unfortunately, she didn't feel the same way in a sense of just wanting to be monogamous. There was a time when we were together, we did take things serious. She did try to be monogamous with me. I remember it was about Halloween. It was like 3 or 4 days before Halloween. We were still together, and we talked about our relationship to being together, and we decided, let's give it a try. Let's actually be together. So we made things official, and we barely lasted a week before I remember we were sleeping in my apartment, and she leaned down and talked to me, and she was like, "Hey Matt, can't talk to you." I was like, "What?" She was like, "Oh," she brings up, I don't want to share too much, something sexual with, in a sense of other people that she wanted to do, and I looked at her like, this isn't going to work anymore. And then pretty much at that point, it was just down here, and we broke up. So you know, at least she was honest and she asked before doing anything. I'm a big person in a sense of wanting transparency than someone than just being honest. Because I honestly feel, this is just me, that transparency comes from respect, honesty comes from guilt. So if you are a woman of substance, I feel like if you could be transparent about your values and wants and what there's an issue, I will always respect you and understand that we're both adults. We can have an honest conversation about what's going on between us or what we want or what we don't want. So, not to make a long story short, we didn't really work. We broke up. Like I said, we were still messing around on occasions until it eventually stopped, and then I moved on, and she moved on. So, fast forward up until this point today, we were on and off for talking. We weren't like necessarily talking every single day. We'll reach out once every couple months or every couple years. One of us to reach out just to hear how we're doing. I I think I've learned that when it comes to like exes or just people you've dated or slept with or been with, it honestly doesn't work as friends. I'm being very serious when I say that. I've tried that multiple times with different exes. The only ones it works with is the ones that you're not friends with, or the ones you have social media with. Um, so it's like with her, I tried the friendship route, but I don't want to share too much again. But like she did a lot of and like that pissed me off. I was just like, yeah, I can't. You're doing too much. You're playing with me right now. Um, but I know that she had went through like a really bad mental breakdown. I'm gonna say within a year ago. I don't want to share too much, but basically she was living with someone, which is a very close friend of hers, and she had a very like psychotic, really bad mental breakdown. And I didn't know how bad it was for her until like years later when I was talking to her when she told me what happened. There was like a big incident she did. All I could just hope for is that she's okay. I will always have some form of love for her. I'm not in love with her, I would say, anymore, I guess, but I still care for her. Like, I think when you're intimate with someone to that extent, when you have been with someone, they will always carry on a piece of them with you when you move on, especially with other exes I've had in the past. So she was one person that, I don't think about the way I used to when we first break up, but she's someone that on occasion I'll be like, yeah, that happened, that was an episode of my life, but like, I wish her the best. And sometimes I feel like I did dodge a bullet with her. Um, Looking at how she is as a person, now that's just something I just don't want. I don't want to deal with that. So I'm kind of like blessed in the sense where I was able to see, I guess, the red flags of things for me that just wasn't going to work. Now, when it comes to dating in general, my life has changed a lot since my 20s. Now that I'm in my 30s now, um, I've learned that unfortunately, as ideally, I don't want to be like this. Don't take a woman for her word in a sense. Like, you have to see how they are, because there's a lot of people that would say the right things to you but do the complete opposite of what they say when it comes to being with you. So unfortunately for me with dating, especially with the way my health is, I found it very difficult in the sense of finding a connection with someone, I guess, who can accept my health for the way it is and be with me for how I am today, not for any potential or anything like that. When it comes to relationships, it's not really about the good times. It's about how you guys handle through the hard times. Are you guys able to stick things out? Are you guys able to work through things? Can you guys talk? Can you guys fix things? Like, do you guys strive over stress, stuff like that? I feel like if someone can't handle you at your worst, they shouldn't deserve you at your best, honestly. And I've had some turmoil when it comes to, I guess, dating or just seeing where my life can be with being with anyone that can accept me for my health. For those who don't know, I do suffer from a medical condition called gastroparesis. That is a condition where pretty much the nerves in my stomach are pretty much dead. So I deal with stomach pain pretty much every single day. And on occasions after I eat, I will throw up because the food is just sitting in my stomach. It's not moving. It'll take a while to digest correctly. So if I throw up, I get extremely sick. Sometimes I have really bad episodes or I don't, and I have to get hospitalized on occasion. So that means on occasions, if we make plans, unfortunately, I don't have too much control of it. I'll get sick and I have to cancel. I can't be there, which is no one's else's fault, but in a sense, it's something I have to deal with, and unfortunately, there is no cure for it. So it's something that I am still unfortunately struggling with, even to this day. Like, I had pain pretty much all day today, but luckily I didn't have to go to the hospital. But it's something I still have to deal with, and I know that realistically, whoever I wind up being with, that person has to accept that and be willing and see if they can accept it and still be with me. Um, Now, as I am today, I've had a lot of experience when it comes to, like, I guess, hope or just thinking that I will have change in my life with being happy with someone. Not that saying I'm doubtful that the right person won't come along or they will not come along or so. It's just that I know that when it comes to dating for me, I think that I'm just gonna have a really hard time in the sense of finding someone that can accept my reality. In a sense, I don't think that I'm necessarily a bad dude to be with. I just know that my health is not for everyone, and to each their own. Everyone has their own issues and everything. I have to be accepting of my reality and be upfront with what I got going on. If someone can accept it or not, that's fine. This is all I ask, is that you just be transparent with me if it's too much for you to handle. Um, so I have a couple people in my life that has affected me in a sense of, like, how I view, I guess, dating now, or how I view looking at other people's their core values and what they say and what they do, but a lot of what they say doesn't match to what they do with me. So I have pretty much two significant people that have affected me. Like, again, I'll keep them private for this video. Nothing I say here, I don't want anything to go back to them, and I would ever want them to feel like I'm attacking them. I'm just talking about my experiences with them that's affected me to how I am today and why I do the things I do today. And when it comes, I guess, to vetting someone with being with them to see if they're the right pick for you or not. Or so how I want to start. I think I'll talk about this one girl I dated. Um, I can't even honestly say we really even dated. We went out like once, and then we kind of made things official, like, really fast. And I know that it was fast. Like, I can admit and say that maybe we were wrong for making things official pretty much after one date, but we really liked each other a lot, and I thought she was great, and I started caring about her a lot. Um, so pretty much this is someone, just to talk about my experience with them, and how I feel even to this day it still affects me, because some occasions I'll think about my time with this person and how I don't want to, like, sound like an ass when saying this, but with this person, given my health and my state of mind, it's unfortunate to say this, but I feel like with them, I felt more alone being with them than actually being alone and being single. And what I mean by that is a sense like this person didn't give me this sense of comfort where I felt like I had a partner. I felt like I had someone who honestly didn't like me, if I'm being kind of transparent and honest about it, and couldn't be upfront with me about how they felt about me and their health. Um, it's not a dig on them. I just think that it's just my experience with them. How, you know, like I said before, a lot of what she said didn't match up to a lot of what she did. I don't want to get like into a whole big thing about it, but I can share certain aspects of my time with this person that's affected me, with her and how I am with dating. Like I said, my health plays a big role in how I am today. So I know that whoever I wind up being with, like, I can't hide what I go through. Like, that's going to be a part of me. Like, I have to be upfront about it, and I'm not gonna like sit here and act like it doesn't affect me. Um, with this person had a very, 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 when I mean a very big and strong connection and relationship with her mother. Not that her mother was necessarily a bad person. I would never say that. I just know that her mother cared about her daughter deeply and was extremely involved in her daughter's dating life. Not that, even though I'm not a parent, I'm an uncle. Not that that's a bad thing. I just think that it came borderline to the sense of boundaries, which is an issue I was having with this person, in a sense where I felt like I was unable to build the connection I would have liked with her to have, to see if we could actually work on building a family and being together. Because when I was with this person, to honestly tell you, I did genuinely care about them. And to say, sure, I still care about her in a sense where I don't want nothing bad to happen to her. But I know that in the long run, me and her was never going to work. Now back to her mother. Her mother is not a bad person. I don't want anyone to say that she's a bad or terrible person. Like I said, I just think that her mother was, for my comfort, too involved in her daughter's dating life. So when we first got together, things were great. Even after our first date, I remember we went ice skating, and it was fun. Like I really enjoyed my time with her, and she was very beautiful and everything. She had a lot going for herself that I appreciated. Like for me, what attracts me a lot about someone is really them necessarily having goals and aspirations in their life. Sure, I can go for looks if there's a mutual attraction, sure. But like if you see someone like someone that has substance, that's what really attracts me about someone, as someone who has values. With me and her, I can say that me and her share the same values and wants and aspirations, which I was fine with, and like, for that, I will always appreciate that time with her. But like I said, back to her mother thing, the thing that, even though it was, not that it was a red flag, but I remember after our first date, her mother was the one that came to pick her up. And I remember I told our family and friends about that when I first got with her. They were just like, that's kind of weird. On a first date, you meet her mother? I was like, well, really? I did think it's weird. It was weird, but I was just like, it is what it is, and it's fine. Like I do like her a lot, so I'm not gonna think much into it until now. And I knew that when I first started talking to her before I wanted to meet her mother. She told me she did have a very strong relationship and a big one. Her mother was heavy involved in her life. So I was like, okay, that's fine, that's cool. Um, Now with this person, I think that our issues started happening, I guess, when, besides me telling someone about my health, a big thing about me is just that I can tell you about my health and you can tell me you accept it, you're cool with it, until you experience me sick. I noticed that after dating this one person, you can say one thing that you're cool with it until you experience it and you realize reality hits, oh, this is part of him. Can I really accept this? And my thing about it is just being transparent and being honest. So not to share too much, again, to too much details about, what happened. I can share certain instances that I don't want to use the word red flags, but it's just like, oh, okay, yeah, it's probably not going to work. Or like you're not happy, you just don't know how to really tell me. I knew going in that, family is a big thing, and I would never take that away from someone on when it comes to being with someone and having their family involved. Look at me. Like my mother had passed away, so a big person that's in my life that's family is my grandmother, my cousin, and my sister. But I would never let them, in a sense, take full control of my decisions when it comes to a relationship. If I'm happy, if it works for me, then it works for me. I hope they respect that. But they're always allowed to have an opinion. And the same thing with the person and her mother. I remember I had a conversation with her telling her that, listen, I'm not dating your mother. I am dating you. I'm trying to be with you. I will always respect your mother's opinion of how she feels and what she thinks of me when it comes to like my health and finances or whatever. But I need to know how you feel because I'm with you. Um, when speaking to my therapist now about it, he says that in a sense, even though I said it too, I made a funny joke about it once when we did have a conversation about this person when he asked me about my relationship with her. I told him that, in a sense, when I look back at it, I was never dating her. I was dating her mother's approval to be with her. And I can't even snap. I'm sorry, but I remember it was a funny conversation when I had my conversation with my therapist about that section. So with her, it was like I never was able to build a genuine connection with the way I would have liked. When I mean by that, I don't want anyone to think that when I'm talking about sex or anything like that. No. I knew that at the time when I was with her, she was the first person, the only person that I went out with, or was trying to be with, in a sense where I felt like I didn't get any sense of us working on any type of intimacy or having a sense of privacy. I'm very big on privacy when it comes to my relationships. I feel like at my age and how I move today, if you truly care about something or value something and you want things to work, you keep it private. On occasions, you can share a picture or two, but I'm not going to share my entire relationship on social media or what I go through with one person or two person. Um, so with her, you know, um, I just had issues in a sense of where I felt like I couldn't spend any private time with her. In a sense where we're like, if we're together, then let's act like that. That's working. I know we're still new and working on getting to know each other, but let's do things together that see if we can work. I can understand a lot of someone's fears with being with someone who's brand new. You call on your boyfriend, but you don't even act like a girlfriend when it comes to certain things. My mother told me blatantly after the first time they experienced me sick that she was uncomfortable with me in a sense of being with her daughter. Um, I think that what it was is that even talking to my therapist about it, that I think that her mother saw herself being with me, how unhappy she would be, and she didn't want that for her daughter. In a sense, her mother saw herself being with me instead of like letting her daughter make that decision for herself if she can wants to be with me or not. It's not to say like we didn't have like a lot of bad days. Like I enjoyed talking to her and being with her in that sense, but building a genuine connection was always an issue with her. Um, there were a lot of things in a sense where I felt like I was trying more than I needed for just in a sense of bare minimum in being in a relationship. That's just me. I think the bare minimum is at least being able to talk to your partner if there's an issue, how you feel, and bare minimum at least making an effort to at least spend time with them in private, or where you always have an excuse to why you can't do certain things with me. Is this like, are we even in a relationship, or do you even want to see me? Do you even like me? I don't think it's fair to be with someone if like you don't even know if they even truly like you. That's not a fair conversation for my partner or me. Um, Needless to say, I don't want to share too much, but but I always say in a sense like I can understand her mother's fears. When it comes to dating someone that has a health condition like me, it's not for everyone. I think my only issue was just that all the fears was coming from her mother, not her directly. And like I said before, as I told her before, I'm not dating your mother, I'm dating you. I need to have that conversation with you, how you feel. Um, so needless to say, I just felt like with her, I wasn't able to build that connection due to her mother's fears and what she saw with me, and her not being transparent on what she wanted, or her just feeling like she doesn't want to work for her. We did break up, and then about a year later, we wound up getting connected again. And I thought some things had changed, and she seemed open to want to try again with me. So we gave it another shot. But unfortunately, like I said, her mother, my God, her mother just pretty much shut that down, giving my health. So needless to say, we broke up for about a year or so, a little over a year, and then we wound up getting reconnected again. With getting reconnected, I mean, it was fine for the most part. Like, I wasn't expecting anything to happen until like we both had a serious conversation about our wants and nots and giving it another try. Um, when I got back to trying to talk to her and be with her again, I was upfront with her as I always like, listen, even though certain things in my life has changed, things have gotten better for me, financially and emotionally. I still deal with my health issues. It's still a part of me. I would never get mad at you if you can't handle it, as one of the big reasons why we broke up from before. All I ask is just that if you cannot handle it, tell me now, and I will let you go, and it'll be fine. Like, I will not be mad about it. I just know that it's not going to work, because when we started talking to her again, I saw myself liking her, and I didn't want to fall into that with her, knowing how bad we didn't work the first time we tried getting together. Um, she pretty much told me, yeah, that she can handle it. She's okay with it. So we started talking again for a while. It got to a point where, when we were together, um, I was surprised she did this for the first time, because, like I said, my issues with her is a sense of building a sense of privacy and feeling like she's going out her way to spend time with me or to make an effort to be with me. That was a big issue. I feel like I was the one putting in all the effort to try to make this work, to see, do we have a connection, because we were brand new and being with each other at the time. So about a year later, we were talking again, and then this she had invited me to go to a dance for her school. Um, and I was shocked and surprised. Oh, like, thank you. Yeah, I would love to go with you. Mind you, I haven't seen her in a while since when we originally broke up, but we were talking pretty much every day. And her mother seemed open and liked me again, due to, I guess, things had changed for me and things had gotten better. Like I said, if someone can't handle you at your worst, they shouldn't deserve you at your best. Um, Needless to say, with her, I'm sharing this instance that happened because this is something I still think about. How it's affected me to how I am today. So, boom. I get invited to go with her to this dance she was having at her school, and I was really happy to do that. Like I said, I still get sick on occasions. And then we had worked on saying that, oh, like, we haven't seen each other, and I didn't want it to be in the sense that it shouldn't be like the first time we see each other should be at that dance. It's been a while. So let's make an effort to see each other like a week or two before you dance, so like at least we get that out the way. Unfortunately, I'm gonna blame myself for this. On my way to her house, I wound up getting sick, and like I said, my health can be very unpredictable. But then again, she knew about that. So I get there, I was very, very, very sick, and let's just say her mother pretty much freaked out when she saw me and didn't approve, or was really unhappy when I got there. And it was my fault. It was my fault because I really wanted to see her and I missed her, and I wanted to show her like I had an effort to make things work, but my stomach was that day. And I wanted to get sick, going to the hospital, and this is a very embarrassing time. I can't really blame her or mother for that. That's on me. But I do also think that it was a blessing in disguise that happened, because it also showed me that she truly didn't really um, change. It was the same thing all over again from a year before, from that point where that she just wasn't really too accepting of it, or couldn't make it work for her life and what she wanted. So pretty much, I remember that day her mother told me blatantly to my face that she did not want me dating or talking to her daughter when that happened. I was like, oh my god. And it was embarrassing, but I had a conversation with her about it after, and she was like, it's okay. Like, she's fine, and I thought we were still cool, working on things, because I knew I was upfront with her about my health, that it still happens. Um, After that happened, I remember we were still talking up until the dance came, and then when her dance came, I was really almost getting ready to leave to go get her at her house so we could go to the dance together. And then I remember, because I remember the night before she was talking to me how excited she was for me to come, and how, like, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, we're gonna dance, have fun. I was like, cool, yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy to do that with you. And like I said, I'm with you. I'm not with your mother. So I remember I get a text message earlier that morning from her mother. She's like, hey, what she said. Her mother said, hey, given everything with your health and that's happened, we don't think it's best for you to come to this dance. You should focus on your health. Just hope that you understand and stuff like that. Pretty much, I got uninvited to the dance when I'm pretty much on my way to be there. Like, I was literally about to be out my door to go and be there for your daughter. You're telling me now that I can't come. Spoke to her daughter. Her daughter seemed very upset and very bothered that her mother pretty much uninvited me as last minute. Like, I understand in a sense why it happened, but I was very unhappy in how her mother did it. So last minute she did, because I already put money out for this dance to be there for her daughter, and like I had my suit pressed and everything. So I asked her, asked the daughter, like, hey, what's going on? She's like, oh, me and my mother got a huge fight about you coming, not coming, and pretty much you can't come. I was like, well, what do you want? She was like, oh, talk to my mom. So give her mother a call to see what's going on. Her mother was just like, just your help, it's not gonna work, just don't come. And then I tried to just have an adult conversation and say, hey, what happened? Because this is the last minute. Because like I'm literally about to be on my way. I spent money. Her mother yelled. I got yelped at or yelled. Told me, you're not coming. You're not coming. No, you're not coming. You're not coming. No, no. And when that happened, like you can only imagine how little I felt in that moment. I was just sitting there and I'm just like, and her mother just hung up. And I was just like, that shit did not just happen. Like I'm literally about to be on my way. Gotten ready, took showers, got the suit, everything pressed, and now you're telling me I can't come. And looking back in it, I understand the mother's fears. But then again, it's just like your daughter is an adult and shouldn't that come from your daughter, not you? And I think her mother's fears was just that she didn't want me so connected with her. Like if I got sick the day of the dance, and I probably ruined the dance. It was like the mother's fears, but like I wouldn't put her in that position that was to happen. I can understand how unpredictable my health can be, but then again, it's just like that decision should be from your daughter, not you. I'm not gonna lie, when that happened, like I was very emotional because I was really upset that that happened, and I had a conversation with my cousin about it, and she was like cursing up a storm when I told her how mad I was about it. I never yelled at her mother or her in general. It's just like I was really like bothered that that happened. And but then again, I can understand to a certain extent. Even when talking to my therapist about it, I told him that I think that in the sense that her mother is right, that I shouldn't have gone. And my therapist told me that even though her mother has a right to have her fears and her reservations about me, it doesn't give her the right to not treat me like a human being that has feelings. And that decision should have still came from her daughter, not her, because her daughter is an adult. And I don't know to the extent how much her daughter defended me when that happened. She could tell me that she tried, but obviously I didn't go. So she lost that battle for what happened with that conversation. But I do think that her daughter feared her mother's opinion more than she cared or liked about me. Um, so with that being said, I didn't go to dance. I remember I texted the girl I was talking to at the time. I said, hey, when you get to dance, just send me pictures. I hope you enjoy yourself. Tell me why I don't get no pictures or text from her. Her mother texts me pictures of the dance and everything. It's like, I don't want to talk to you. You just uninvited me. And it's just like, man, like you can't talk to me. Like, your daughter can't text me like how she was doing. Like that shit kind of annoyed me when I get a message of collage pictures of her mother, the girl I was talking to, like her friend at the dance. I was just like, this is like a slap face right now. Like, damn, like, my God, man. Like, I was so like, I felt this little. You thought I felt this little? I felt this little when her mother texted me pictures of them at the dance, and I guess having fun. But I'm just like, I was supposed to be there with her, and I was just like, oh my God, man. Like, I was livid, but I was just like, there's nothing I can do. It's really up to her on how she's gonna move forward with me. So I honestly think after that dance part and after the first time the experience was sick, like she started like she knew that she didn't want to be with me, but she couldn't really tell me. So fast forward a little bit after that dance point. I'm just sharing that one instance that happened so you can get an idea of what I'm setting up to tell you what happened after. So let's say like 2 or 3 months. I'm not gonna say 2 or 3 months, but let's say a couple months passed by, and again we're talking with her again. We're trying to build that connection because like even that whole incident happened with me getting sick again. I thought she knew, she was accepting of it, and I told her she can't handle it. Just be transparent, and I don't want you to be honest. Just be transparent, and I'll respect you for it. So it got to a point where I didn't feel the connection with her, and I felt like I was getting the old her again, where not with the excuses of why we couldn't do certain things. When I would make plans to come do stuff with her, she would literally cancel on me last minute or the day of, like randomly, and I was just like, "You tell me, is that you or is this your mother?" I didn't know. I really don't know, and I will never really know. But it got to a point where I had a serious conversation with her about like my time with her, because when we first started talking again, we were talking about the future, being married, having kids. Like I said, me and her shared the same values and wants, which is fine. But I think our roads to getting to that point was a little bit hindered by what she wanted and what her mother wanted. I do think that she is a person that does not like to be uncomfortable or have uncomfortable situations. Like she cherishes and values genuine, like being comfortable. And I guess she got that from me because I never really judged her or got her when it came to certain things. But you have to understand something about me. How bad you are or how cute you are. If you do some, I'm gonna call you out on it. I think, like, honestly, because I feel like as a partner, I can't. I shouldn't be with someone if you expect me to just panhandle to what your wants are or what your thoughts are on certain things. If you're wrong, you're wrong. I shouldn't have to. I'm a human being. I don't have to agree with everything you want and how you see certain things. That's just how I feel and how I view certain things. We can have an adult conversation about it. Like, there's nothing wrong with talking about our fears or instances that happen. But I just think that with this person, they were very headstrong on. I would say she was very opinionated, and when it came to certain things, how certain things would be set for her in her future. So it got to a point where I asked her a serious conversation. I asked her if we were even still trying to be together because it got to a point where I felt like I wasn't getting anywhere with her. Needless to say, I should have asked her, like, what's going on with you? Like, do you still want to work at these? Because I felt like I was struggling with building a connection with her, and I felt like I shouldn't be with you if you're not being upfront with me, if you can't handle my health. Not sharing too much up here. I want to respect her privacy. She pretty much gave me a medical excuse on why she couldn't be with me or she didn't want to be with me. And to honestly tell you, I knew that was a lie. Now, when I say I knew it was a lie, in a sense of not saying that medical reason wasn't a real thing. Also, I can't really confirm or deny saying that what that medical reason was. A sense. I felt like her medical reason was more so an excuse than a reason. And the reason why I say that is because I knew that she was lying. Because before I asked her that question, as I said, I wasn't feeling I was getting that connection. I felt like I was being friend zoned without her telling me weeks before. So I knew before that conversation happened, I did wind up going back on a dating app. And when I went back on the dating apps, guess who I saw had updated their profile on this dating app? She doesn't know this, and I never told her that I knew this. This is how I knew she was lying. So when I went on this back on a dating app where we originally matched at, when I started swiping, I came across her profile, and it popped up, and I saw that she had updated her profile, and it was updated with all these new pictures. Now her talking about new things that she wants, her values. And then guess what picture I see on her profile? A picture of her from her dance. You can imagine how dead I felt when I saw that. So when I saw the profile, I saw that she updated with pictures from her dance, the dance that I was supposed to be at with her. And like I said, at this point, I wasn't aware that we were talking to other people again. And I remember when I saw it, I got mad, and I was very tempted to call her or call her out on it, but I told myself there's no point in doing that because all I know I'm going to get with this person is stonewalling and someone that's not going to like really say much about it. I'm just going to be venting or talking to a wall. So I decided not to say anything and keep it to myself, which is why it led to me asking her directly if we were even still trying. Even though I saw the picture, it doesn't necessarily mean that we weren't still trying. It just means that she didn't tell me that she went back to trying to date other people without telling me, because I wasn't trying to see anyone else. I went out like with one other girl at the time, but I didn't really feel a connection with her in that sense because I was still trying to figure out if I was still trying to work things out with this girl, the one that I was supposed to go to dance with again. So I remember when I initially had that conversation with her about asking her if we were still trying. She tells me her medical reason why she couldn't be with me. And I just honestly, I wanted to call her out right then and there on it, but I said, I played along, so it's cool. It's fine, I understand. Because even for her to come up with that medical reason on why we weren't going to work, even though I knew it was a lie, it just means that she just didn't want to be with me in general. For her to lie like that. And I also had to ask myself in the long run, if I can't be with her in a sense, even as a friend or potential partner, if she has to do that, to say that to me. What if we did get together or did have kids? What's gonna happen if we do have hard times? Like she's just gonna do that, pander to doing that and lying again, or just saying certain things in a sense where she doesn't look like the bad guy or she didn't do any fuck shit, and just making it seem like it's just downplay to that. So at that point, that's when like we officially had ended, and this is what I mean in the sense of how my health has affected me to where it's hard for me to date someone in a sense who could be genuine with me about how they truly feel. Um, like I said, that was something she didn't know, and I would never really like really bring it up. There's like no point. She's not going to like really react towards it or so. But I remember after that point, we did try. Like I said, when you're trying to be intimate with someone you dated, it's really hard to be friends with them because someone always still has feelings in a sense. And I guess that person was me, even though her feelings for me were like dead or so. We tried the friendship route, and then we had another conversation that pissed me off. Pretty much, I wouldn't share too much. Like I said, I respect her privacy. We had a conversation. We were just talking about us and like why we didn't work in a sense. And then she gives me an excuse in a sense that like pissed me off, and I had to hang up. I remember I had to hang up the phone because I've never yelled at her or like yelled at her. But in that moment, woo, she was gonna get yelled at if I did not hang up the phone. I was gonna curse her out. So I remember we had a conversation just talking about why we didn't work, and it pretty much led to I asked her what was her main excuse because I was waiting for her to tell me it was my health or like my finances or anything like that or her mother or whatever. She pretty much tells me her excuse was that she did not know me. You did not know me. Here's why I have an issue with that excuse. You don't know me, but you know me enough, one, to call me your boyfriend. You know me enough, two, to be around your family, your mother, be in your house. You know me enough to talk to me every single day and pretty much share whatever secrets or just things about you my other people may not know or do know. I don't know. You know me enough to be around your pet. Uh, you know me enough to go food shopping with me and everything like that. But you don't know me enough to be genuine and be in a relationship with me where you actually act like a girlfriend. Yeah, and other things that had transpired with her that that I knew about that pissed me off. You can't do this for me, but you could do this with the other person. Like, yeah, no, I had to hang up on her, and then like we pretty much like stopped talking. Not stopped talking, but I pulled back layers on like really interacting with her because I felt like I was just hurting myself. I remember when we had that conversation, I was so ready to tell her about I saw the profile, how much I knew she was lying, but I was just like, there's no point in doing that because in her sense she was already clocked out. She just didn't tell me initially when she clocked out, and I was still clocked in thinking that we were still working on things because I thought that with me being upfront and transparent about my health, and you tell me you can work with it, I'm thinking I'm working with you, but you just couldn't really talk to me about how you truly felt. So with that being said, we pretty much like fell off. Like I still wish her the best. The last I heard from her, she told me she moved on with someone else. And then again, like I said, her excuse when she told me, I knew it was a lie. There's no way on how progressive this woman was with wanting a family, how fast she wanted one. There's no way you're gonna sit there and tell me that you don't want to date anyone or be with me, knowing how much I knew she wanted a family and like you need to like be with someone in a sense if you want to be with that. So without sharing too much, I know that with her that she moved on with someone else. Wish her the best, I guess. Whatever she got going. I just hope that whoever she winds up with is with, they can accept them, and I'm sure whoever that person is will be better than me. Given my health and state, I just hope that person she's fully able to be herself and fully give herself to that relationship or what it deserves, where someone is actually trying and being a committed partner. But that's a time that I knew that affected me. And like I said, when I was with her, I felt more alone being with her than actually being alone. And I know it's pretty sad to say, but I would never want anyone to feel that way when they're in a relationship with anyone. There was one other person I don't mind talking about. I don't mind sharing. So this person came after the dance girl. We met. So my life at the time was a lot better. I had my job, my career job. I was working and everything. My health, I would still get sick on occasions, but it wasn't as bad as it used to be. And this person kind of came in and, like, I would say, filled that void for me that I was missing, that I didn't get from the other girl. Um, so this person, we met off Tinder, and guess who slid into his DM? She slid into my DMs. I remember when I matched with this person. You ever see someone so attractive? You have to look at their pictures 3 times and be like, "Are they fucking AI? Like, you look really, really good." This woman I matched with, she was very young. She was about 23, I think, or 24 when we matched. Um, she was a model. I don't think she was a supermodel or anything like that. I don't like seeing her TV, but she's been in like magazines and like commercials and stuff like that. And it was like cool. I'm happy for her. She was from Colombia. So I mean, when we matched and everything, we're talking. I realized she didn't speak any English, or maybe she did. It just really wasn't that great. So you can imagine how communication was with this person was very difficult and hard in general. But my Spanish is extremely bad. I don't speak Spanish, but like I was wearing one for her because I genuinely liked her, and she was a very beautiful woman. So just to make a long story short, with this woman, she came into a time in my life that where I felt she was filling that void that I was unable to achieve with the other person I was with from before. Not that she was the first person I got with right after the previous girl, but she was the first one I thought where I'm achieving something real. This is something that's going to be genuine. This is something this is what I was striving for and looking for that I wasn't able to get from the other girl. Pretty much when we matched, I think since the first day we matched and we started talking, we literally talked and FaceTime each other every single day. She would call me every couple hours, check in, see how I'm doing. I would talk to her. She would tell me about her family and what's going on with her time in New York for the first time for a couple months. She was new to America at the time, so like she was experiencing everything there and what New York had to offer. And she was like, honestly, with her, even though my time with her was much shorter, much shorter than the other girl, I felt more of a connection with her and a sense of dopamine with her than I ever did with the other girl. And that's saying something because I was only with her, I would say maybe like about a month or so. So with her, this woman, like I said, she was very attractive. I think there was a lot of red flags that this woman was probably a hoe or probably very loose in the streets than I had anticipated. But I think that I was ignoring the signs because I was genuinely happy. And this girl, she was really good at making me feel wanted, which is something I was lacking in my previous relationship. So I remember when I even remember our first date. I don't mind sharing this story. Our first date, we went to David and Buster's over in the Bronx. It was fine, like for the most part. I remember when I saw her. I remember when I saw her, and mind you, this is around the dead of winter when we first met. And I remember I was sitting downstairs waiting for her. She walks in, and it was just like she wore like this fire outfit, had like a flame outfit. Like I saw her, she sent me a picture of her outfit, but I didn't realize how revealing it was until like I saw her. So I made sure my outfit matched hers with flames, just so we could look cute together. And when we got together, she walks in with her jacket open, and I looked at her. I was like, "Damn, you cold." It was like freezing outside, and like she looked really good. I'm not gonna lie. Like she put in the effort to impress me, and so like she did. And I remember our first date. It went well for a while. I like to think that we did like each other in a sense where we were both attracted to each other, and she enjoyed talking to me. I remember her English was so bad, so I nicknamed her Minion. And the reason why I named her Minion, I'll leave a picture of the Minions from Despicable Me. You know how they talk where you don't so with Minions, you have to understand, you don't understand what they're saying, but you can gather what they're talking about. That's how it was with me talking to this young lady, in a sense of like, I had no idea what she was saying. She was talking Spanish, and I'm like, oh, I don't know what you're saying. But I can gather what she's trying to tell me, and that's how we communicated. Besides, like, I guess, using Google Translate to talk to each other, which was fine. For our first date, it went pretty well. I thought that she was a bit quiet-ish when we first met, but I think that just came from the language barrier and just being nervous for a first date. And we still don't really know each other, so I can understand in a sense of, being a little nervous, not really talking too much. But as the day went on, she opened up more. I remember we took 2 like professional pictures. I remember when we were sitting in dinner, it was like a bunch of people were staring at us and her because like I get it. she was very attractive. And even when I first met her or matched with her, I was surprised that she was even interested in me because I don't look at myself on an attractive scale of like high, and I was genuinely being me. Like she knew about my health, she knew about my finances. She seemed like she genuinely liked me and was interested in being with me. And she told me she was looking for a relationship. Oh yeah, cool. I'm open to it too. Um, so I remember we took like two professional pictures and like it was great and it's so good. Like we enjoyed ourselves. This person, after our date, we didn't wind up going back to my apartment and we spent more time together. I did sleep with her. Um, it was fine. It was like it was anything special. If I'm being honest, it was fine. I think that with her, I think that's what she really wanted. If I'm being honest, the type of intimacy I got with her, because the intimacy I got with her, I never got with the previous girl I was trying to be with, and I was calling her my girlfriend. Um, so yeah, I genuinely enjoyed talking to her and being with her. I was always upfront with her about who I am and what I got going on. I am obviously not a rich person. I live in a studio apartment, so I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm come from a world of money because I honestly don't. I mean, this is not much, but I do hope to have more for myself. And my thing with this person is just that I was genuinely myself. I never acted like anything that I wasn't. And so that's when, in a sense, I said that I felt, oh, this could be real because I don't have, I'm not lying or doing anything else. She seems accepting and okay with it. One thing else, other thing with this woman is just that she's never experienced me sick when I was with her. I guess my health was just on point when being with her and talking with her and thinking that I was getting a girlfriend. I just think that I had that sense of dopamine with being with her in a sense where I had that sense of happiness. So after our first date, we kept talking for about a week, and then like I remember the day we made plans to see each other again. She was gonna come over, I guess. I guess we were gonna. I had a feeling we was gonna fool around and stuff again, and then she just ghosted me that day. And I was just like confused. I was like, "What the fuck? What just happened?" Like she just disappeared. But I mean, ghosted me. She blocked me on all social media. She had just stopped responding to me and everything. I just never heard from her again, and I was really hurt because I genuinely liked her in a sense where I thought it was real. When she had ghosted me, I was heartbroken about it, but I got over it to a certain extent. I started doing me a lot. Like I started seeing other people, other women. I remember I matched with one other girl on Tinder, leading back to the girl that ghosted me. So I remember this girl I matched with on Tinder. We had like to be transparent, we had like a 2 night stand where she pretty much came over for the weekend and just stayed with me, and we just like did stuff. Her imagination, and she knew about the girl that ghosted me, like someone I talked about. And the thing with this girl when she came over is she saw the picture because when I went on a date, the girl from David and Buster, I had a picture that was hanging like up here, and I forgot about it. And then so we had a conversation with the girl that I had in my house for the weekend, and she told me, "Oh, like seems like you're not fully over it." I said, "I'm not," because I honestly don't really know what happened. She just disappeared like out of nowhere, and I genuinely liked her, and that was months ago. I have no choice but to let her go. So she was the one that told me maybe you can write a letter because you know where she lives. Because I sent her on an Uber, so the only thing I had was just where she was staying at in New York. I said I thought about it. I was like, yeah, maybe it'll help me get closure. So I wrote a letter and I sent the picture that we took together from our first date in it. And then pretty much to paraphrase what I wrote, to summarize, I said, "Hey, minion, uh, I hope it's not weird that I'm sending this. I just was cleaning out my apartment, which is a lie. I genuinely knew what I was doing. I pretty much wrote to her that, cleaning out my apartment, so this picture made me think of you. In a sense, I hope it's not weird or creepy that I'm sending it. I just felt like it just belonged more so with you than just in the trash." And I told her, to be honest, I just been a bit confused about what happened. The last time we spoke, you told me you missed me and you wanted to see me again. And then the next day, you just disappeared without saying anything. And I told her, regardless of the language barrier that we had, I like to think that me and you liked each other enough to be able to express if there was an issue. And I told her, on occasions I do miss you, and I just genuinely hope that you're okay, for whatever reason, whatever you have going on. I'm still here if you want to talk or reach out again. And then I remember in the letter I wrote my number, and I said that just in case if you had deleted my number, you could reach out to me when you can if you want to talk again. And then I left her alone, moved on, was doing me. A couple months passed by, and then I get a random text message from someone, and it says, "Hey." I get a picture of the girl from David and Buster's, and he's like, "Hey, how do you know this person, and when was the last time you saw them? It was a picture from the girl that I went out with, and talking with this person. Pretty much, I'm not gonna share too much, but this is pretty much her sugar daddy that I did not know about when I was with her. Pretty much, I found out that she came to America. Whatever. This is someone that knew her back when she was in Colombia. He had her move to America, and that she was dating around on Tinder with multiple people, which I guess was one of them was me, obviously, because she was bored. Whatever she had going on at home with this person, she wasn't happy with, so she went on Tinder just to go out. And I guess I was just one of the fathers of the men who kind of fell for her because she was attractive, and she was lying about wanting to be relationships because she was bored. You can imagine how little I felt because I thought it was real what I had with her until she ghosted me. So it was just all shits and giggles for her when she was going out with me. Nothing was ever genuinely real. I when I look back on it, I think that she was genuinely attracted to me. I think that that was the case. She wasn't attracted to me. We wouldn't have matched, or she wouldn't have gone out her way to talk to me. Because I remember when we first matched, she was more also of the aggressor. She's DM'd me. Like I said, when I matched with her, I saw her pictures. I was like, this is not a real person. This person looks AI. And when we matched and then we faced her, oh, she was fucking real. She was real. So yeah, so found out that she was just bored going out with men, and then some other things transpired with her. I don't want to share too much of her business out here, even though I don't have to. Little asshole she is, but I know that she wound up leaving America as she moved back to Colombia, and I just know I'm never going to see or hear from her again. Everything was just a game for her. My time with her still affects me to this day. I'm not gonna lie, because I do generally miss her. And when I mean miss her, I don't think it's her I miss. I missed how she made me feel. And how she made me feel was someone that was wanted, and someone was like, oh, that is can accept my health and accept me for me and be genuine with me, which I thought she was, but she wasn't. So even with talking to my therapist, when he asks me about how I'm doing today, when talking about with her, when we have conversations about her on occasions, because she still affects me today on how I view and dating today. Like I have my guard up now if someone's being too friendly or being all lovey dovey, like off jump and off rip. Like I'm just looking at you like, what game are you running right now? And like I've matched with other girls recently, and like, I'm not gonna shit too much, but there was a woman I matched with, and I could have swore she was just as top tier as the girl from David as Buster's on an attractive scale, top tier. She was an Asian woman, and when talking with her, texting with her, we FaceTimed a couple times. You would have swore I was talking to the girl from David and Buster's, and I clocked it really quick. So I was just like,
"What game you running right now, young lady? You're too hot for this."
uh, and like like I kind of like ended it with her like really quick because I clocked it like she wanted some game. Um, Even today with dating, like how I see certain things and my values and wants, I genuinely, honestly, how as I am today, my biggest thing with being with someone is someone who can take accountability. That's a really big thing for me. Someone who knows if they did something wrong, you can take the accountability for that. Because I feel like if you can't take accountability, what happens if something that really happens as bad? And I'm just saying, arguing with someone who is just like shallow and just only thinks about themselves is just like, are you fucking serious? Like, you don't see how what you did can affect other people how they are. I do think that this girl from David and Buster has affected me in a sense where it's hard for me to trust everything that comes out of a lot of people. Even the other girl from the other dance girl, I think those two relationships has affected me in a sense of where it's just like I have to see someone at their worst. I have to someone see me at my worst too to see if they switch up on me or change, because anyone can say anything. It really shows me in your character and how you continue to act when you're around me or what you do in everyday uses. Um, but to honestly say, I do have an awesome therapist. I'm happy I was able to express. I don't want to use the word my truth or my story, so like anyone else that suffers from like medical conditions as I do, to know that unfortunately, I can't tell you it gets any better than whatever you have going on. Just all I can say is just that you're not alone, and that I'm here for you, and I do hope that everyone can find someone. If it's not a forever person, at least find that person that can accept you for you and be genuine with you. But you're not going to get that all the time. just know that you're not alone. You're supported, and the single epidemic is crazy out here, especially in New York. I even saw a poster saying New York City is the worst place for dating because everyone's so superficial about dating. And I understand that. I mean, you can't go wrong with a woman wanting someone that has all their shit put together. Like, I don't have everything put together, finances and health wise. Like, I get it. Like, I don't meet everyone's needs in the sense of getting everything you need out of being in a relationship. But there's no such thing as a perfect relationship. I think the true definition of a relationship working is seeing how everyone works when things are not great. Are they truly going to be happy? Are they truly going to be themselves? I did date around a little bit after the Dave and Buster girls, but the last couple women that I've dated, like I said, it's been a repeat pattern. Once they experience me sick, they switch up on me or they change or we stop talking. So it's going to be an endless cycle. And like I've told my therapist, my fear of that, I don't think it, I think it's going to be extremely hard for me to find someone who can accept my health issues. He said that he can understand. He says that reality, and says, yeah, it might be hard, but it's not impossible. You just probably just continue to focus on yourself, and if you do choose to date, continue to be transparent as you can, and hopefully the right person will come along. He told me with these other two, the other two girls, the David the Buster girl and the dance girl, that he says that with them, don't look at them as they're bad people. He says that with them, they just didn't have the emotional capacity for what you needed in your sense of relationship. Because he knows me for a while, and he says that I seem like a very genuine and nice person that can truly care and love someone. You just need someone that can match your energy and can be very understanding of your health situation. I do have other female friends and family members that love me and continue to have me in their life, even as platonic or so. Those type of relationships I do cherish and value, and I'm happy for. So I do hope one day I can meet the right person that can make me happy. Maybe one day or so, but I'm not in a big rush for it. Like I'm open to it. But I just know that what I have to focus on is my health and my family, what I got going on today. And I think that for me, what I just want to focus on is just self love, because it's been hard to feel that way. The way I get sick sometimes, and so I just want everyone out there to know that, just try not to give up hope. You know, I know it's hard in general, but if life is not hard, then you're not living life. And that's all I can say. But I want to thank you guys for watching this video. I'm happy I actually got a chance to talk about these women or people that has affected me and changed me in ways I don't want to say for the worse, but has put my guard up or changed in the ways that make me try to set my core values and what's important to me and what I should do or shouldn't do. Again, you guys can follow me, Matt95 Hugh. I know it's been a while for videos, but I'll try to see if I can make more videos when I can. I don't want to do like all these venting videos. It's a little weird all the time, but I don't mind sharing on stories on occasions that happen to me, and I will always try to respect people's privacy. But hey, I appreciate you guys watching. Do let me know if there's any other videos you guys want to watch. Leave any comments below if you have anything you want to say. I do hope to see you guys next time. Take care, guys.